Pre-COVID, import duties were generally at 12%, with some exceptions. Clothes, for example, attracted 3% duty, while foodstuffs, books and educational materials were at zero. But local traders have long argued that lax enforcement on the collection of these duties on goods arriving into Gibraltar placed them at a disadvantage, as they competed with cheaper prices both online and across the frontier, with people in some cases claiming VAT and then not paying duty. Then in April, the government took swift action to protect employees and businesses after the pandemic broke. The Chief Minister announced the first draft of Beat COVID measures, which included an import duty waiver for all classes of goods except for tobacco, fuel and alcohol. This worked a treat for the motor industry as sales were boosted throughout the lockdown months. Now, as businesses struggle to stay afloat during the economic downturn, the Chief Minister has introduced a new 10% import duty on dutiable personal goods. The move has been welcomed by the Chamber of Commerce and Federation of Small Businesses.
Well, we welcome the measures. Businesses need help and the government is offering help in forms of a grant now, which is good. So we hope that business can take this up because we know that there's a very difficult situation out there. So we welcome those measures. It's come at a time where these kind of things are needed. Every little help will help the business, and that's needed at this time.
While some items will be marginally cheaper than before, others will be more expensive, such as computers and electronics, which pre-COVID attracted 6% duty, but now will cost 4% more. Clothing could also cost an extra 7%. The move hasn't gone down too well with some online shoppers.
It's a bit annoying, especially that you have to pay shipping, from wherever you order from. So it's just that bit extra.
Well, stop me from shopping online. Stuff I buy, like books, I can't buy anywhere else. There's no bookshops in Gibraltar.
Yeah, there are quite a few good shops in Gib, but not everything that you would see online. So because it's quite small, and big brands they don't have here, obviously, because it's a small country. So
if I can't find the goods here in Gibraltar, or I can, then obviously the answer is going to be no. I'm going to have to buy it somewhere else. If you can find the item in Gibraltar, but because people in the business community, not necessarily everybody, decides to hike up their prices to an exorbitant amount and make more of a profit on goods which they perhaps don't pay duty on, and you're paying 20 or 30 pounds more than you would buying it in the UK or elsewhere, and still pay less even if you have to pay a 10% duty, it's common sense that you'll go and buy it elsewhere.
The GSD has criticised the new personal duty, which it says effectively penalises shopping choices, especially when the items are not available in Gibraltar.
We're not penalising people's choices in shopping. There have already been import duties which still exist, and there's also a lot of items that are available in Gibraltar that are being bought outside. We're trying to incentivise people to buy locally by reducing the cost locally.
With import duty waived, Fabian Picardo says traders are expected to pass the benefit of this on to customers to help increase sales and stimulate economic activity. But is this actually happening?
The reality is that most of the shops have been closed for a great period of time. And now we've been speaking to retailers and making sure that they will pass on these savings. Obviously, it's a difficult time, and it's difficult sometimes to tell if prices have changed or not. But we hope that they will be passed on. We have seen that in the car market, for example, there have been a lot of sales because of the import duty waiver, and that's something that's good for the economy.
But there is some good news for the wallet, as the Chamber and Federation say they've successfully negotiated 3 hours of free parking for local residents at MidTown Car Park to encourage hassle-free shopping and dining in town. In a separate statement, the government said this time frame will also help those visiting friends or family in the area, particularly when access to Limewall Road is restricted on Saturdays, Sundays and Mondays. Parking at Midtown was reduced by almost 75% since the implementation of the £1.80 hourly payment rate. But the 3-hour waiver will no doubt see many of those empty spaces filled again. As was the case before, local residents will need to produce their existing Gibraltar ID card. The move is aimed at supporting the Keep It Local campaign, with Minister for Transport Vijay Daryanani saying the government is constantly listening to suggestions and feedback from the public.